Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and we love releasing content for y'all. But one thing we want to put out there, just kind of as a disclaimer or a pastoral recommendation, if you will, is that while we're going through these movies, we certainly have a set list, and not every one of them is our favorite. It is also true that not every one of them we necessarily recommend. So some of them are going to be a little bit more for mature audiences, and a lot of the subject matter and material is going to be for mature audiences. And so we just ask you guys, just listener discretion advised. Me, Marty, and Ryan, we're always going to keep the podcast itself clean. It's going to be clean content, but some of the subject material might be more appropriate for mature audiences. So just keep that in mind. As I said, this is not a recommendation on the films. This is us just walking through each of these movies and trying to put out good content. We love the opportunity for you guys to watch these movies along with us, but by no means are you expected to, and are we wholeheartedly approving of them. So just like I said, listener discretion advised.
Wow. This is a spoiler warning for this episode. This episode will talk about things about a recent release of a movie.
Good for you, Ryan.
Why did we
And
do
I'm going to
that?
start out the talking.
Wait, hold on. Time out. We've not done the spoiler. We've
Yeah,
not done
he's-
that
We
before.
did it on
He's
one
being
of them.
polite.
We need to record one.
Like an actual.
Yeah, like an actual.
You want it?
You guys got it.
No,
you
yo,
just
you-
did it.
Okay,
You just
you killed it. You killed it.
No.
Yeah,
Well,
use
I mean,
that.
we'll use that. We'll do it later. We'll release this episode, but we'll do it like a separate recording.
Okay. So, my first thought on the movie is...
Wait, time out. Sorry. Which one? Because
Oh.
wait, we got an intro. What are we doing?
Top Gun 2 and the first.
Top Gun Maverick. I've got the need for speed. Don't think, just do. Turn and burn, whatever the other
My
one
neck
is.
really
Shake
hurts.
and bake. Yeah.
So I wrote a bunch of notes, but I'm just going to say one thing, let you guys talk for a while, and then I'll bring them up.
So
Thanks-
sorry.
Thanks, Ryan. Let's go.
Wait, okay, so which one are you about to open up with? The
Top
second
Gun
one?
Maverick.
Okay.
It's A New Hope.
Oh my gosh, I had the same thought. With the hole.
Well, the whole thing. It's a trench run. You got the
Yeah,
trench run.
I was thinking that too. I was like, oh, this is awesome. It's the Death Star.
Yeah.
You know, I know they can't do that, but I wish Maverick had been like, what is this, like some sort of Death Star situation?
The Death
And
Star.
John Hamm being like, what? It was, though. I was like,
Oh,
wow, that's
man.
amazing. Except they acknowledged it, like, hey, this is impossible. Whereas, like, Star Wars was like, yeah, they just left this thing unfinished. Anyway, yes.
That's funny.
I think that might be why everyone thinks it's so good, though.
Because it's Star Wars?
Because it's ultimately Star
No,
Wars.
it's Tom
based
Cruise.
story.
No,
That's just-
it's more than that.
I mean, it's more than that, but that's a major
Certainly not
aspect
less.
of the movie.
I mean, yeah,
Mission Impossible, because it's also Mission Impossible.
that's true. Mission Impossible meets Star Wars. That's actually
Oh, man,
pretty
that's
accurate.
really all I wanted.
Gosh, we even got a little bit of spaceship with that opening
Yeah,
plane.
that's true.
That
We
thing,
did.
that thing was ready to
This
go
is
to space.
The Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
So another thing I saw, the P-51 at the end of the movie
hmm
is Tom Cruise's P-51.
I wondered that.
The
He
one,
has his pilot's license.
Yeah.
And he actually was flying that. In
the one he flew
Yeah.
with Penny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wondered if that was not Penny. Yes, Penny.
Yeah.
I was thinking
Him
Charlie.
and him and Miles Teller actually. Miles Teller actually helped him put
He's
it
like,
together.
here, let me fix this because you're 5'7".
He put together a training course, a 3-month training class for the other actors. Tom Cruise did for this movie,
Why?
so that they would be ready and look like pilots when they were trying to fly the plane.
And what's funny is they just kept the camera rolling. That was it. It was him
And then they
explaining
said,
how to act.
Cut. We got the
That was
movie.
it. That was basically it. That's your flight school.
Well, that's what they did, is they flew in dual cockpit planes, and there was a U.S. fighter pilot flying the plane, and they were sitting in the second seat with cameras all around them.
Yeah.
And that's how they shot all those scenes in the air. Because they actually flew
Hey, that's
almost
awesome.
all of that. There was very little CGI.
Gosh, that's
Even
cool.
the ones how did they do the single?
I don't know how they pulled those off,
Yeah.
but
I did
what they did.
feel, I don't know. That was weird. Okay, cool.
It's a great thought.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
So anyway, Top Gun. If you haven't listened to our last episode, please go listen to it, you psychopath. But Top Gun, me and Marty had not seen the first one. We knew all about it because it's ingrained into American culture. It's very 80s. It's very American. It's very Tom Cruise.
There was
all
a
of the
large
things.
uptick in naval recruiting
Yep.
afterwards.
Don Simpson, Jerry Bruckheimer. This kind of fit. This was like fit the mold of the 80s cinema.
Tony Scott,
Yep.
brother of Ridley Scott.
Yeah, and so we hadn't seen it before, but Ryan had, and that doesn't happen too often. And so we thought, well, this is an opportunity. We've got to take it because ultimately, when we see an opportunity, that means profit. So that's
and that's what we're about here at
that's what
TDM.
the money. So yeah, let's start with the first one. Ryan, when was the first time? Was this the second time you'd ever seen it?
Yeah. I saw it for the first time like a year or two ago.
Oh, for real?
Oh, I didn't realize.
I thought it was
recent.
like you were like younger.
Nope,
Okay.
It was not long ago.
Did you remember everything? You were like, yep, this adds up.
I think so. There were a couple things I had seen in the trailer for the new one, and didn't understand why we didn't see them in the movie because I thought they were from the first movie, not the second one.
Oh,
And
Okay.
There's just a couple of scenes with the flying around and stuff. Like
Yeah.
the one scene specifically where he flies between the two jets.
Right.
I thought that was in the first one for some reason.
Oh yeah.
that was cool.
That was
That could be due to the fact that I probably saw the trailer for the second one before I watched the first movie.
Ah,
Yeah, that's
so
how it was for us.
Yeah, I didn't really care. Here's the thing. I didn't really care for... I was like, I don't really know that I care for Top Gun Maverick, but I'll lean into it. We watched the first one. Overall, it was a fun movie.
It's an experience.
And I wasn't like blown away, but I went, if this came out in the 80s, yeah. Because I mean, everybody that I talk to that loves Top Gun, legitimately what they say is, I love military aircraft. Like, that's a thing for me. And I went through that phase when I was like 7 or 8, and I'm still like, it still harkens back to that. So that part was fun. I mean, I've said this to you guys before. The modern marvel that is launching a jet from a moving ship and then catching another one coming in, like the fact that we can do that is pretty insane.
It's
And
awesome.
they can do that at the same time.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
all three of those things can be happening.
That is wild. Like, it is unreal to me.
And someone can be using a bathroom on the ship.
Well, that too. And somebody can be making coffee and they can, but,
All 12 of those things
yeah.
at the same time.
But overall, I was really happy. Enjoyed it quite a bit. There was a couple scenes I was like, this is kind of weird, but it's also like it was the 80s and it was cheesy, and so I enjoyed it.
What scene makes you say?
Well, I don't know that I enjoyed. That's not the scene I was talking about when I was talking about enjoying it. One scene in particular I did not enjoy was Tom Cruise busting in the women's restroom and being like, "Hey, why don't you go on a date with me?" Like, woo, that was 80s, but not cool.
Let's check the sturdiness of this counter. All right, Tom.
Yeah, all right, Tom. We're gonna need you to tone down. But and even the love scene, I remember. Did you guys ever see Hot Shots?
No.
Dude, it's Charlie Sheen. I'm pretty sure it's from the people Naked Gun, and Leslie Nielsen.
Oh,
pretty sure Leslie
I'm
Nielsen's
sure it's great.
but I only remember this because I was talking to. It's Lloyd Bridges, so the guy that
Yeah.
plays. Okay.
Yep.
John Cryer, I forgot he's in it too. But it's making fun. It's a parody of primarily Top Gun, but a lot of different things.
Sure.
It is awesome, and I only remember it. It was one of those. So growing up, my mother and I, Mom loved movies. She loved really dumb parody movies. So it was like a lot of Leslie Nielsen, Airplane,
Absolutely.
Naked Gun, Hot Shots,
Yep.
even Scary Movie. Like she's like, this is dumb, but they were like,
But,
modern.
yeah.
Scary Movie.
Did you guys watch the who was it? Mel Brooks?
Yes,
Those Young Frankenstein?
She did. I was not allowed
okay.
to, and then I got older, and then I realized, well, Spaceballs we'd watch.
Oh, sure.
Blazing Saddles, I was not allowed to watch.
No.
So, anyway, but I had it. So I had that deeply ingrained in my memory. Didn't really recall it until I was literally talking to our friend of the show, Jacob, at work today. And he's not really a friend. He wants to be on.
He's going to put that on his resume.
He has nothing but good things to say. But he's like, you ever seen Hot Shots? I was like, dude, I totally remember Hot Shots, like where they make fun of the singing to the girl in the bar scene. And then also there's a part, sorry, we're just going to talk about Hot Shots here for a second. I can't remember if it's this one or part 2. It's like part deuce, whatever. But there's a part where his it's not his co-pilot, but it's his wingman. This is like basically Goose. And he's like, yeah, he's like, his wife is like, okay, honey, we'll see you when you get back. He's like, yeah, of course, sweetie. Like, that's crazy. I just solved like the JFK assassination. I have it all here in my own personal journal. And she goes, do you want to leave that with me? He goes, no, don't worry about it. I'll make sure this gets published when I get back. And then of course he dies.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think if I remember correctly, it was like, he landed safely, but then he got hit by the ambulance on his way in, or something like that. It was something so stupid. It was just like,
so brilliant.
He's like, I'm fine. He's like, brrr, and knocks him out and kills him. Anyway, so, that's so dumb, but just that's what it reminded me of when I was watching. When I was like Goose, unfortunately when Goose dies,
passes.
Yeah, when he passes. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that, but I enjoyed this movie. There was parts of it that I remember. I go, oh yeah, this is definitely a movie you can make fun of.
Oh, for sure.
And still enjoy. 5'7" Tom Cruise trying to spike on a volleyball court or sand court. I don't know about that. It would kind of look like he was
again
floating.
6'7" slider.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't want to jump too much. I'll try not to jump from between the first one and the second one. But I feel like in this one they did a better job of not making it overly obvious that Tom Cruise is short by overcompensating.
Yeah.
I feel like he was legitimately like when he stood next, because in the first one, it's like when he's standing next to people and they're all the same height. I'm like, no, dude, Val Kilmer's not 5'7". But like in this one, it was no, he's like he's actually standing there next to people.
Yeah, 6'2" Miles Teller.
It's like everybody knows it. We're just gonna acknowledge it. We're not even gonna, So anyway, Marty, what did you think about the first one?
It was a very good time. I very much enjoyed it. It's one of those movies I really wish I had grown up on, because we have those movies that, like, if you show a first timer, probably not as funny as it actually is to them, or not as good without any nostalgia factor.
Right.
I remember the first time I showed a few people Airplane. Some people loved it, but I remember some people not liking it very much. I was just like, "You're insane."
They have horrible sense of humor.
We know this, but. And it's just that kind of thing, but also like whether or not I find it hilarious, which I absolutely do, I'm entirely blinded by the nostalgia and the fact that that movie is important to me. And I wish Top Gun was one of the movies that was important to me growing up, because
it's deep appreciation.
Gosh, this movie is special to some people.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish I was in on that.
Yeah.
I mean,
it can't be special for us now, I guess, but however,
we can still love it. And I'm going to thoroughly enjoy it.
Top Gun Maverick.
That's right.
We're in on it.
And that's a pretty special movie.
Oh, my goodness. We'll get into it.
We'll get to that in a sec. I wanted to highlight something that you've both already heard me say in the last 30 minutes. But when we were watching the movie, and again, to reiterate, this was Jacob and I's first time, the love scenes going on. And Berlin's Take My Breath Away starts. And I say, oh, how generic. Take my breath away. Then it cuts out. They talk or something, and then it cuts back in. I said, "Oh, we're doing Take My Breath Away again." All right.
Did this start when they start fighting?
I think that was part of it. That was in it.
One of the dumbest. Anyway.
But then ultimately something happens again, and it happens a third time, and this is eventually when they consummate. And it's a third iteration, or not iteration. That sounds like a different version. The third time of them playing Take My Breath Away. And I'm like, man, we're really pushing Berlin's Take My Breath Away.
Yeah.
Come to find out, so I knew that this movie had a award for Best Original Song for a Motion Picture. And everyone under the sun probably would have assumed it was Kenny Loggins' Danger Zone. No, Berlin's Take My Breath Away was the award-winning song. And that's unreal. It's a good song though. I grew up on 80s music, so
it's good. Yeah, it's a good time.
So I just wanted to share that, because I went from why are we still listening to the song to realizing, like, when this movie came out, like, they weren't just pushing some song that people heard on the radio all the time. Like, no, this was their first time hearing it. That's actually super cool.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm now looking up the love scene from Hot Shots, because that is one thing. The love scene, I felt like the way I had it described, or the only way I could think of it is like, it's a love scene that feels like it's coming from the point of view of a teenager of what they think sex is.
Do you mean for Top Gun?
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. They had their clothes on.
Well, and it was just like they were like I don't even know how to describe it. They weren't kissing. They were just
Oh
like,
yeah,
they
that's true.
were
You were
being-
roasting.
I was like,
their
why are
technique.
they doing that? Like, that's not comfortable. So I'm looking at
One of you tilt your head, please.
dude. Sorry, we watched this love scene from Hot Shots. It's basically the same thing. But
Oh, Charlie Sheen.
is Charlie Sheen. But yeah, anyway, it's just like that's not how you kiss. I don't understand. But even like the way that sorry, I can't now. You see, it's just ridiculous. This is how I feel. This is how I feel about.
This is unreal.
If you have the time,
I
go
need to watch this.
Hot Shots. Just look up Hot Shots love scene. Like it's like the ice cube is sizzling.
Oh my gosh.
It's so good. It gets
Oh
he's
man.
gonna break an egg.
It starts cooking.
It's so funny. It's from the bacon down.
He's just making breakfast.
Making breakfast. This is what people want to hear.
Oh
Listen,
man.
just watch the scene. Just watch it.
This is appropriate.
Yeah, this isn't. Oh, he's got hash browns now.
Straight up making breakfast.
Dude, I'm telling you.
That's so funny.
Anyway,
Dude, it's just
fun.
it's just good writing right
It's
there.
fantastic. We love.
And
the,
there's no writing in Top Gun.
No, absolutely.
There's
not.
no plot.
Not a lot.
Top Gun does not have a plot, and I love it.
I remember I was telling you guys this before, but I had asked around before I'd ever, I hadn't seen it. Oh, really? It's like, well, who's the bad guy? Well, we don't really know. What do you mean you don't know?
Tom Cruise's ego.
Yeah. Well, and and it's like, well, what's going on? Who do they fight? Like, well, they don't fight anybody really. They just go to school. I'm like, that sounds dumb. It's like, yeah, but him and Val Kilmer, they're like not friends at all. I go, oh, why? It's like, well, Val Kilmer's actually a nice guy. It's Tom Cruise that's the problem. And honestly,
Because at the end of the movie,
yes,
Val Kilmer is actually a very supportive
I
friend.
enjoy it. Yeah. Well, so again, talking to a friend of the show, Jacob, he was like, everybody wanted to be Iceman when this came out. He said nobody wanted to be Maverick because Iceman was like, because I said, dude, up to that point, Goose was my favorite character, and then Goose dies,
Yeah,
and then my second
that
favorite
was on
character,
purpose.
yes, and then it's Iceman who goes, hey man, you're Maverick, you're a really good fighter, but you just don't know how to play on a team. And then he's just like, Iceman, you're dumb, and then runs away, and you're like,
Get melted.
yeah, and I was like, what? Why did you do that? And so yeah, apparently everybody wanted to be Iceman when this movie came out. Now they want to be Val Kilmer
Because he actually was first class.
yeah, Val,
At Top Gun.
Yeah, and Val Kilmer was a little more established. I get that kind of thing. But even then,
I heard
it's
he
like,
didn't want to make this movie.
He didn't want to be in it.
No, he didn't want to be in it, but he was contractually obligated.
Good for him. Wait, the first one?
Yep.
Well, good for him.
Yeah,
to
at this
show up
point,
in
of
the
course, he
second
was
one.
excited to be in the second one.
Yeah,
but-
good for him. I imagine that was it. Well, we'll talk about it in the second one because there's a lot to be said there. There's a story there, but
It has a plot.
yes, no, his story does for sure. And then and something else. So the relationship dynamic with I love what you said because I was like, this is so like, how did no one see this? Where it's like, Lieutenant, I have to talk to you. And he gets on his Harley or his Kawasaki and he's like, what? Can't hear you. Speeds off. And you're like, what a toddler. Like,
Yeah, straight up.
And then she runs across 3 stop signs, gets there. He's like, what are you, crazy? And she goes, I'm going to finish my sentence. I'm like, what are these children? What is grown children?
This is 6th grade right here.
Wreaking havoc on this small town that has a naval base. Anyway, yeah, that the romance. I mean, you got to have it because again, it's the 80s. You can't make it very complex. It's very dumb. You got to because it's the 80s. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, it seems kind of problematic. This is not a very good relationship. It's pretty toxic.
And thank goodness it's not. I mean, obviously, it's a big focal point, but it's not overshadowing. It does not overshadow the planes at all.
Yeah. It does. It doesn't. But at the same time, it makes it feel really weird. It's kind of a disconnect whenever he comes back and he's like, "Oh, I guess we're still a thing." But
this woman was an instructor.
Yep.
She ever flown a plane?
No.
It's all right. That's how I like my chefs cooking me too. They've never even cooked a meal, but God, they've watched a lot of TikTok and Food Networks.
I was watching a video where they were commenting on her being there, and her PhD was in astrophysics. She
And that
was there
means
as an instructor.
that means she understands
Wait, was she
aerodynamics so much.
Wait, was she an instructor? Or she wasn't like a.
she was
wasn't
a contractor.
She wasn't a
independent
flight
contractor.
instructor.
No, she was a civilian contractor.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so she knew the aircraft. She was like literally there to debrief him on aircraft.
But they gave her the
Oh,
wrong PhD.
Gosh, that cracks me up.
Oh.
It's safe to say they handled her character with an afterthought.
Oh, is it safe to say that? I don't know if that's safe to say.
She was not in the second one.
I mean, I agree with you, but I don't think it's. I legitimately, what I mean is, if you say that, you're probably going to make some people pretty angry. I don't know if it's safe to say.
No one who's going to listen to the.
Well, yes. Question for you guys. This is the one question I have. The one thought I have. What's your call sign?
Should we take the
So I
quiz?
was watching a video.
No, don't take the quiz. No,
Okay,
your
okay.
own call sign.
You don't. Apparently, in the military, you don't come up. With
Yeah, I
a
imagine
call
it's
sign.
like
It's
summer
assigned
camp.
to you.
Yeah,
So it's actually more of a derogatory term towards you,
right.
is what they were saying. So like that's where Maverick. It literally means something along the lines.
He's a jerk.
Horse.
I'm gonna look this up quick.
Isn't it like lone horse?
An unorthodox or independent-minded person.
Yeah, that's Maverick.
Why is Iceman Iceman?
Because he has ice in his veins. He doesn't feel anything.
If you guys can't hear that, we're slapping the.
Sheesh. So what's your call sign?
Good question. You have yours?
I have mine, and
Okay.
there's a story to it, and it's
Okay.
derogatory. It's not super derogatory, but it is kind of derogatory. It's not good, if that makes sense. But
Love all this dead air time while I'm
come
thinking.
on, think.
I'm
What would
thinking.
What would
I'm
yours be,
thinking.
Ryan? What would yours be, dude? I know what yours is. It's
I'm
not
gonna
your
go.
derogatory.
I'm gonna go with mine from camp,
Yeah,
where they call me the mountain goat.
that's right. I literally just thought about that when we were talking about the other day hiking. You're like, yeah, they call me the mountain goat. That's his.
That's his call sign.
mountain goat. I like that.
What would mine be? Derogatory.
It doesn't have to be. So Ryan's wasn't necessarily.
Derogatory
Mine kind
does
of is. It's not,
insinuate negative.
yeah. Mine's
It's-
negative.
It's indicative.
Yeah, of something.
Yeah.
So the video I was watching, they were explaining it more as like Maverick introduces himself as Maverick, but they were saying that you wouldn't actually introduce yourself as your call sign because you don't necessarily always.
Which
Yeah,
is always
I've seen
weird.
Batman. I know that he's not really Bruce Wayne. He's Batman.
Which is weird because that's all they call each other. Like, hey, Iceman, blah 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 blah. Like nobody says that out in public, you idiot.
Yeah, but it was cool in 1986.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Give me.
You could just if Bob is one,
I can be Mart.
you can be Mart if you want.
I would like to be Sharkfin,
Shark fin.
just out of my adoration for sharks and Jaws.
Okay, shark fin.
Think it works?
I think so. Like, or would you go fin or shark or shark fin?
Whatever they call me.
Or you could go.
If I landed on my call sign, whatever people call me is what they call me.
That's true. What would you decorate it?
I mean, I'd
Decorate
love
the
to,
helmet?
get the shark.
Here's the problem with that though. We already have fanboy, so there's gonna be some baby sharks for sure. Yeah, that's right.
What's your call sign?
Sandman.
Because you're a sleepy boy.
That's exactly right. I fell asleep junior year of high school. Fell asleep in the middle of film and football. I was second row. Yeah. And
Yikes!
yeah,
You get a playbook thrown at you?
no, he slammed it on my desk.
Okay.
I still didn't wake up. The dude behind me like shook me, and then I've got my offensive coordinator. The offensive coordinator is standing over me, and he said, "Get your butt out of the classroom." He said something else, but he said, "Get your butt out of here." And so I went out and I stood there. Head coach comes walking by. He was in the weight room working out with the defense. He comes walking by. He said, "Thomas, what are you doing out here?" I said, "Coach, fell asleep during film. And he said, what? I said, yeah. And it actually turned into like it was legitimately like, rather than just like, lighting me a new one. He said, well, whatever Coach Parker says, like, follow up.
He's got it
he's
handled.
gonna he's gonna eat me for breakfast. But if there's something that we need to talk about as far as how you're prioritizing your time, because he knew that also, like, I was doing a lot.
Sure.
I guess it would have been my junior or senior year, yeah, because it was like I would just and that senior year of high school was a blur because it was like that. I was editor-in-chief of newspaper. Was working like 30 hours a week at Walmart. It was just like it was a lot, and so
which is funny because you never actually worked at Walmart.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. But him and my journalism advisor, like, they were really good buds. So he knew me,
Sure.
knew what was going on both in the classroom and like
Extracurricular.
Yeah, and so he was just like, "Hey, if you bit off more than you could chew, like, we need to talk about that." And I said, "No, it's like I had to cram for a test the night before, but it's fine." And then, of course, Coach Parker had me afterwards, and I did quite a bit of running that afternoon. It was crazy. It was like, oh, I didn't know we were working out after film. Like, no, I am. So
you just get home, your mom's like, why are you so sweaty?
So then, Coach Harris, running back coach, I'm out there, and he comes out. He's watching Coach Parker, and he's like, Sandman. I was like, what? My name before that, he called me Tomcat. That was my other one. But he said, "You're the Sandman now." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Because you're always falling asleep. You're the Sandman." I was like, but at the time I was like, "I think that's not how it works with Sandman." But I didn't want to argue it because
I was too busy. You would have ran more.
Yeah. And so from then on, everybody just started calling me Sandman. I was like, "All right, this is my thing." It's still my Twitter. It's my Twitter.
Oh, really?
Handle, yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So
Sandman 72.
86.
I don't know why I thought it was 72.
I don't know why either. That's an O-line number.
Yeah, sorry.
Anyway.
All right.
So that's my call sign story. I had something else that I wanted to press in on, but I can't remember what it was. Anyway, moving on. Do we want to talk about the second one?
Yeah, let's talk about.
Well, one last thing with the first one.
Yeah.
We
have to call each other.
The volleyball scene.
Also, we have to call each other by our call signs now from here on out. The rest of the episode.
So you know how they had? I think they called them. Was it MiGs? The enemy planes.
Yes.
So in the first one, they were actually F5s.
Okay.
They were just repainted F5s.
Why did they do that? Because they didn't have any MiGs? Because they were in Russia?
Budget.
Well, and then with the
MiG, Russia, that's assumption.
Sorry, they were in some communist state.
So then in the second one, they're like, what, MiG-28s or something like that?
Oh, I don't know.
He just calls them fifth generation.
They're fifth generation.
Well, they actually called them something, but whatever it is, that plane doesn't actually exist. There's like a MiG-29, but there's no 28. If those are the numbers they actually were.
Well, there's two sets of planes. The MiGs were the ones on the runway.
They were the enemy planes.
They were the ones on the runway.
Yeah.
But then there's the fifth generation plane. Those are two separate ones.
Yeah, those are.
And
different.
then there was was that an F-14?
Yeah, that was an F-14, which is what they used in the first film.
Why is that out there?
Dude.
In the middle of, air quotes, Russia or
so
China.
Shapiro doesn't think it was actually Russia. He thinks it was more an Iran area. And they were actually the ones getting
there was
nuclear
snow.
stuff.
Like the Caucasus Mountains.
They kind of just had whatever they could get their hands on type deal.
It's close. Just kidding. It's like Georgia, but you know what I mean.
Georgia's in America.
Okay. So Ryan, how's your day going?
It's good.
Yeah. Did you work today?
I worked 9 to 5.
Working.
It's weird to work a real work day.
This is not like late nights or.
Instead of a 9 to.
Do you ever wonder what percentage of jobs are actually 9 to 5?
Less and less every day.
You like less and less you wonder it every day, or less and
no,
less?
Less and less of them are every day.
Okay, thanks for the clarification.
Sorry.
Especially working remotely.
Yeah.
That's true. What percentage though? You say less than 50%? Or more? Or about the same? You think about retail and service jobs?
I'd say 30% of jobs are not the typical 9 to 5, 8 to 4, like that type of thing.
So you think at least more than 50% are 9 to 5s?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. I wonder that sometimes.
Yeah.
Like we just throw that number out arbitrarily, but do we really work 9 to 5? I don't work 9 to 5.
Some people do.
It's true. Some people really stick to that.
A lot of them are like 8 to 4 or something like that instead.
Yeah. Which I like that better.
Yeah. But
Your brain-
when you say like 9 to 5, you mean all of the typical 8-day work days is really what's encompassed in that.
Wait, what? The 8-day workday?
Sorry,
8
8
hour.
hours.
Sorry,
I said day.
I was
I meant hour.
so confused. Yeah, like a salary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. But yeah, I'm more of an 8 to 4. My
I like the 10 to midnights.
yeah. My dad was he worked 7 to 3. I think, yeah, that's when first shift took over. And then my mom was just like wherever when she worked in insurance, is like wherever. In real estate now, it's like I could work all I want, or whenever I want. So that's nice. But anyway, yeah. Do you think you'll ever work a 9 to 5?
No.
All right.
Well,
Not for you.
the job I currently have may inevitably wind up there eventually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you get in like a normal rhythm of things.
Yeah.
That's good.
If I wind up being in more upper management and stuff,
I see.
it'll tend towards that probably.
So what'd you do when you got home?
I watched the new Obi-Wan show.
Dude, I mean,
Watched episode 3.
we're going to wait to talk about the whole season, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to make that a separate episode.
Yeah.
But how is episode 3 compared to the first 2?
It's about the same as 2.
Okay. All right. I'll take your word for it. Because we'll probably end up watching it sometime this weekend.
Yeah.
Nice. What'd you do after that? It's 35 minutes?
I made some food.
Nice.
Played City Skylines for like half an hour.
Very cool.
I think that was it.
Pretty chill day?
Yeah. Oh, I watched Linus Tech Tips. That was the other thing.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
And then was watching Tom Cruise videos on Top Gun.
I feel like I probably should have in preparation, but I'll probably just end up watching them afterwards.
It started showing up in my suggested.
Yeah.
Just interviews and stuff. That's where I got some of these answers to things.
When we were walking out of the movie, first of all, when we came in the movie theater, there was like a group that was like dressed up, like in cosplay. Like it was, and these were.
You mean the 2 people that had the helmets?
What? No, there were people there with helmets.
Oh, okay. As we were leaving, but I think
No,
they
did
showed
you
up
see
on
the
a
one with the
motorcycle.
flight suit? Did you not see the one with the flight suit?
No.
Oh, yeah, that was the one I noticed. Wait, were they? Where was the 2 people with the helmets when we walked in?
Like, no, when we walked out.
Oh,
we were leaving the
yeah,
theater.
I did see that. Yeah. No. I was thinking when we walked in, they come in like behind us.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I was like, really? But I do wish when we were walking out, people were walking in. I wish I'd been like Maverick dies at the end, or at least in close, be like, man, it's crazy how Maverick died at the end, right? Anyway, so that's what I mean when I said Facebook is dead. Come after me.
Highway to the danger zone.
So when we get in the second one? Top
Yes,
Gun,
please.
Top Gun Maverick.
This movie was awesome. Ryan, what'd you think? Or Mountain Goat, what'd you
It
think?
was great. I give it 10 out of 10.
Honestly, yeah. Dude,
Dude, it was so good.
so good.
And it
had no right
Can we
to.
agree?
It had no right to.
It was just about every way better than the first one.
Actually, I give it
Well, I
Mach.
think it's better because of the first one. That's
give
what
it
I
Mach-
love.
absolutely.
That's what I love most.
I give it Mach 10.2 out of 10.2.
Because
Nice.
a 10.3 would destroy the plane.
Hey, how does that work? Explain that to me, Mountain Goat. I just fly.
How does
planes.
what work?
Mach. What is the Mach?
A Mach is a measurement of speed.
Okay.
Let me look up
Machines
what it
are-
actually is.
Certifiably hot. That's what Mach stands for.
Shark fin. That's weird.
I don't make the rules, man.
So Mach 1 is around 760 miles an hour. Mach 10.
Mach
Is
1
around-
is 760 miles an hour.
Yeah, Mach 10 is
You
10
were going,
times that.
7,000
7,672 miles an hour.
Possible?
dude. Jake or Sandman, you were almost going that fast after the movie the other night.
Yeah.
Dude, don't say that.
Well, it's fine. No one, you can't drive
the
Mach
cops are
10.
gonna come find me. That's true. My Ultima can only get to Mach whatever
It's
1
4.
divided by 7 is. Yeah, that was. I mean, you have to, right? Oh my gosh, what a wonderful movie this was, and this is how
So good.
Okay, so this is how I feel like Star Wars tries to do sometimes, and they don't quite nail it. Sometimes they do when they basically rip the fourth one, and then sometimes they just really drop the ball. And this was fantastic.
One of my thoughts with it is it was one of the only sequels that was potentially better than the
Mhm.
original.
Dude, 1,000%. I was singing that too. Like,
It's up there with T2.
yeah, or Aliens.
I wasn't gonna say it.
Yeah, I know, but you were thinking it.
I was thinking it.
Yeah, it's unreal, or some people might say.
I guess that's what
Lost
happens
World.
when you wait 35 years
Not
to
true.
remake it.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Bro, yeah, 30.
How well does that normally work? Like, what is the success rate of a movie 35? Maybe Blade Runner 2042, but even
So-
then, I wouldn't say it's better than the first one.
With
No,
Tom,
I
it's
love
so
Tom
different. They're
Cruise.
so great.
with
Yeah.
Tom Cruise in this one in particular, it needed to wait. They
Oh,
actually
yeah.
waited until he was ready to make another one.
They waited until they made sure Miles Teller looked like
Oh
Goose.
my gosh, it's crazy.
Uh,
Yeah, it's unreal. I know I said this to you guys, but when Hangman's like, "Does this guy look familiar?" Huh? And I went, "No, actually, it does." Because most of the time in movies, it's like, "No, this is just
Yeah,
Miles.
it's
This
forced
is
to-
Miles Teller with a mustache." But then I was like, "No, that's actually Goose. Like, that's Anthony Edwards."
Anthony
right there."
Edwards
Yeah.
looks like
Yeah,
Miles Teller.
They nailed that. But really, seriously, all they did to Miles Teller is put a mustache on him, and it was like,
Yep.
wow, that is so
Do
crazy.
you guys think he had to work harder for this movie or for Whiplash?
Ooh.
I know it was this movie, and it's because of Tom
Hey,
Cruise.
he really. Wait, you mean to get the role or like his character?
He was handed this role just
Yeah.
because he exists.
They made a better actor choice in this movie for a kid of another actor or of the character
Yeah, right.
than most movies make when they recast
Yeah.
an actor
Yeah.
for the same
That's
role.
true.
I'll be
This
back.
is-
Sandman really put that one to bed. He just Kobe'd. Yikes! Now we're just bowling out here.
Sorry, I would have made it, but I fell asleep.
So a couple of facts that I found on the second one
All right.
is they actually worked with the real Top Gun to film the movie.
Yeah, I know
is that
Tom
a
Cruise
real
was in it.
Thing.
Yes.
The naval weapons.
There actually is
school.
a school like
Well,
that,
I googled
and it's
that.
called Top Gun.
I googled that after the first one. They said that it's not actually like like.
In the video I watched, the people were liars.
I mean, that could happen.
Oh, there's so much. Top Gun's known as the Navy fighter where it's okay. Win in combat. Wait, what is the real Top? Where is the real Top Gun? It's in Nevada.
That sounds about right.
There's
Yeah.
SIFTY. It's not actually a school per se, but rather is an instructional course loaded with schooling, training, and tactics developments held at the Naval Aviation Warfighting Development. Oh, so it's just like a program. Anyway,
Yeah, that's all this was technically until it just became really freaking cool.
what'd you guys like about it?
I like planes that go fast.
Yes, beautiful, dude. So many scenes that I was like, "Gosh, I want this in my living room all the time."
There are movies where it's like, yeah, this was one for the big screen. And this movie was made for theaters.
Yeah, I'm glad we
I'm
watched.
tempted to go
IMAX.
see it in the 4D at that Regal
Oh,
Cinema.
dude, yes,
Yeah,
that's true.
I might go next week in 2 weeks.
Dude, go for it.
We like the cast. They brought in a new batch of pilots. I'm not gonna lie, when we were at the bar, or when they were at the bar,
Playing pool.
yeah, I was not a fan. I was like, but also I didn't know.
Except for Bob.
Well, Bob really changed it for me because I went, okay, are these guys just gonna be a part of it just for like literally this scene just to demonstrate like Tom Cruise is old? But no, they stuck with it, so I did enjoy them towards the end. But of course, you have Bob sitting in the corner, like I've been here the whole time. And he's like, he's a stealth bomber pilot, and he's like, what? He's like, he doesn't even get the joke.
That was a joke.
Yeah, but I love Bob quite a bit. But I think one of the things that this movie does really well, or I guess I resonated with, is I don't know why, But Tom Cruise, his character, like Maverick, it kind of goes through a lot of crap in this movie, and you feel the weight of it. Like when he's literally looks like he's having a stroke outside, watching Miles Teller play Great Balls of Fire, and like Jennifer Connelly's like looking at him like, why is he just zoned out right now? That to me was like, oh my goodness, like his best friend's gone. His other really good friend is about to die. He's called back to this place he hasn't been since the first movie. And so, like, obviously he's dealing with it's gone a long journey in the Navy, kind of ping pong back and forth between places. Nobody really wants to keep him because he is a Maverick. And like, in that moment, he's getting tossed out by these young dudes. Like, you're washed up. No one's there for you. Like, your on again, off again girlfriend, is in there. And it's just a lot of pain for him. That I think that to me was like a piece of this that was talked about in the first movie, but in this one it's like, man, they really nailed that. Because in the first movie, it's like Goose was the only family he's got. Yeah, and you're like, okay, cool. Like his name, you knew about his dad.
That loss.
You knew his dad was, like a
great pilot.
But he's also like really. What is it specifically that he did that they didn't? Was it not dishonorable?
They got into a dogfight over the wrong enemy lines.
Okay.
And then the U.S. government basically had to cover it up.
Mm-hmm.
So he saved Vapor's life and a few others,
but he's not. Yeah, he's definitely not. So anyway, yeah, he's just not. He's a guy. He's a Maverick. He doesn't fit anywhere. He doesn't really nobody really wants him, but they know that they need him. That kind of thing. And so I feel like they did that really well. And that's one of the parts of the movies. It's like, man, this is so depressing, but also like that's the cost of like constantly being, bullheaded about things.
That's true. They did an excellent job with every facet of that.
Yeah. And I also love that his relationship with Miles Teller with Rooster, because Rooster is very much, obviously he's Goose's son. In the same way, I mean, obviously he looks just like him, but also in his mentality where he is a team player, he is looking out for everybody else, and to see him be like the front runner. I mean, Hangman's kind of your Iceman character, but really he's not. Like,
no, he's your Maverick character.
He's more Maverick than
Well, in a way, Rooster is also Maverick and Goose.
A little bit of both.
Like, he's got a little bit of elements of both of them.
Well, he has the drive of Maverick, but he also he's a team player like Goose is.
Yeah, and he's as they said, afraid to take the shot, or he misses
going
his
slow.
moment.
He's going too slow. He doesn't ever know how to take a shot. Yeah, he misses the moment. But then at the same time, it's like when you pin him up against the wall, like he does have that drive. He does feel like he has a chip on his shoulder, that kind of thing. And then you find out, well, Maverick was probably Maverick trying to be his. That's another thing. Maverick trying to be his dad and realizing like he can't do that for him. Like he's talked about it. He's took his papers, pulled his papers, Naval Academy. He's like, sent him back 4 years. Why did you do that? Oh, his mom would not have wanted him to do that. And, I was looking out for him.
He wasn't ready.
It's like, when you're not his dad, you can't be his dad.
And it landed there.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of these movies would try to shoehorn like, you're the dad I wish I always had.
Yeah.
Like, no, he knew
He
knew his dad for like 3 or 4 years, and he was a pretty great dad.
Yeah.
It was more than 3 or 4 years.
He's like, what was it?
He would have had. He was in.
Okay, it would have had to been. The time doesn't match up.
Yeah, because Miles Teller would be like 45 right now.
Yeah.
I would put him in the first one. He's probably supposed to be about 8 to 10. 8 to 12.
I was thinking 7 or 8.
Really?
He's somewhere between 8 and 12.
I was seriously thinking 4.
But he's 35, so that's probably.
Is Miles Teller really 35? Gosh, time really.
I thought he was at least 40 though, because
you thought Miles Teller was 40?
Yeah, because those guys. They're always 5 years older than you think.
That's true. I guess I thought he was like 20.
So I was thinking 30.
I thought he was like 29.
Oh no, I was thinking 35 and then add 5.
I guess he was Mr. Fantastic 7 years ago.
Yeah. So
So according to a Top Gun wiki, he was 4 years old when his father died.
Oh really?
Yeah, no 7-year-old sitting on top of a piano.
He would have to be 40 in this movie.
I'll give it a little bit of a benefit of doubt
The
because
mustache adds 10 years.
because the movie has been ready to go for probably about 4 years, and it got delayed a lot by COVID and stuff. Like if there was no delays,
So
this
he's supposed
movie,
to be 32?
I think this movie.
Well, yeah, but he still would have been 31.
I mean, yeah, no, he would have been even older.
What? No.
It's been 36 years.
What are you talking about? No, Miles Teller's would have been 31. Miles
His
Teller.
character?
No, he physically would have been 31.
I just mean his character.
Yeah.
His character is older
He's
than he
supposed
is.
to be 40. He's supposed to be.
Yeah, I was just gonna knock a couple years off because of delays.
So it was initially supposed to be released on July 12th, 2019.
Yeah,
Got pushed back 3
But
years.
do they hold? Do they hold to that date though?
they say nothing about any
I thought
time
that
at
they
all.
did. I thought
No,
they
I don't-
mentioned
they
it
didn't
35.
date anything, I don't think.
I thought he said like 35 years ago. I thought they dropped it.
Maybe.
There was a couple times where I
They
thought
may
maybe
have
they
said
were,
something like
but
about
okay.
35, 30
They
years
should
ago,
have.
something.
But anyway, yeah. So love the characters. Love that Val Kilmer. So yeah, Val Kilmer makes his appearance. Hasn't been in a movie in I don't know how long.
Man, quite a while based on what we talked about.
Let's see here. This is his first one since.
So an interesting audio thing. For the couple of lines he did have, they were actually AI generated.
Right.
And he didn't even speak them.
Mm-hmm.
Because
He can't.
He cannot speak.
Mr. Kilmer has throat cancer.
Yes.
Poor guy.
Ah,
I mean, it happens.
He was in a movie last year. All right. Well, that one does not look good. But yeah, this is the first time. And
What
I love
movie?
that birthday cake. I think it's supposed to
Gosh,
be.
I was hoping I at least had heard of it.
No, it does not look like a one. that-
Had heard of it movie.
So, anyway, yeah. What else? What else do we like about it?
I mean, I don't know if there's anything to dislike about this movie. I mean, everyone gets their due. I mean, even in the end, Hangman gets his due. Because, of course, he handled it like a champ. You know, chance to be humbled a little bit. Because he is, I mean, out of those pilots, he is the best.
Yep.
But you need a wingman. And he's straight up going to leave you to dry. So.
Right.
And so him still getting a shot at the end was great. He saw his chance to be cocky about it, so that was nice.
I love the line at the end where he was like, or someone commented, like, oh, now you've got 2 kills or something like
right.
that. And then someone else was like, oh, but Maverick's now got 5.
He's got 5.
Makes him an ace.
Makes him an ace.
Is that a thing?
That is a thing.
5
I
kills.
did Google it. 5 kills makes you an ace.
Oh, I didn't know that.
All right. Good for him.
I think the numbers used to be higher back in World War II and stuff.
Of course.
But
now
because there's so much less
Yeah.
actual
I mean,
dogfighting.
well,
if
they
he-
said he was the first one.
Yeah, he was like the only
the
one. Or
Yeah,
maybe
that
like
whole
a-
time
I think Hangman was the first one since Maverick
to get
to
a
make
kill.
a shot and a kill on another plane. I think that's what they said.
Yeah.
And you know what? Just based on aerial warfare and what I hear, that sounds probably pretty accurate.
Yeah, they haven't had any. This
Dogfights are not a
that's
thing
not
anymore.
Really
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they are. If there hasn't been a full scale official war outside of. I mean, because you come out,
No,
especially
you're
in
right.
the '80s. I mean, it's proxy, it's war by proxy, Cold War, that kind of thing. You
Yeah,
fight
the
different
after effect of
factions,
the Cold
so
War.
It's a lot of ground warfare. There's not been a country that's capable of that fighting another country like that. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought that there was a lot of things that they did. What I love most about this movie is that it perfectly balances the funny with the cheese, with the super emotional like seriousness of it. Like it hits that balance so well.
Danger Zone was in it.
Yes, Danger Zone was in it. Like to me, to completely apart from the whole Top Gun like idea, or Top Gun franchise, it's just like no, altogether this is how you pace a movie. This is how you decide, hey, here's what's important, here's what's not important, like the things that you're wondering about, not really that important. Here's how you do these and here's how you bring those callbacks. I said, don't think, just do.
Yeah, the callbacks were awesome.
Just
through and through.
Like the talk to me goose stuff, like that stuff can get cheesy, and it was. at times, and then at other times it's like, no, really,
but like,
oh my goodness,
we want
like,
him to
that
say it.
feels like, yeah. And so I love that balance, and like more so than any other movie that I've seen in quite a while. I was legitimately at the edge of my seat with this mission. I was like, this is unreal. Like, this is crazy. Like, I'm sitting there going, dude, what are you, like, beside myself? Like, why? Duh, they're going to pull it off. I'm like, yeah, but this time it feels.
Yeah, but who's going to die?
Yeah, exactly. Who's going to die? It feels different. And even in the middle of it, I was just like, you're stressed. You're like, I don't know what's going to happen. And then he gets, my goodness. Then he, like, he sacrifices himself. Lands. There's that Hind helicopter.
The helicopter.
Oh my gosh.
So cool.
So scary. I was like, he's about to get lit up. Of course, then when he started, his gun started, I was like, okay, he's about to get and he just gets blasted by Rooster. But yeah, I felt like the action scenes are just like,
what are you doing here? I saved your life.
No,
I saved your life.
Yeah, so good. But yeah, all the way about, and then of course, like the shots, them going through the ravine and stuff, it's so cool. Like,
From what I understand, actually, no, sorry, they shot those scenes in Washington, I think it was.
Washington State.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and they had the action. If I understood right,
not DC.
If I understood the way they filmed this right, they did the dual cockpit thing I was talking about before, and actually had the actors flying through that landscape.
Like sitting in the back?
And sitting in the back of the plane, acting as if they were flying them.
Dude, I'm not getting in that plane.
And the directors would send them up with the cameras would go, and they'd go out for an hour and come back and just hope the footage was good. They'd get back, they'd go through all the footage and see if they had to go out again.
Yeah, it's a crazy Kessel run.
And
we love it. That's how he did it in 12 parsecs.
One of the actors pushed a button and it like deleted a whole ton of footage on his camera, or didn't record for a whole thing or something.
Oh.
That's why you don't let the actors touch it.
It was actually it was Rooster when he was looking for that.
It was the actor that played Rooster.
It was Miles Teller.
Yeah,
he's looking for that UE12 button or whatever switch that he's got, and he's like, "Oh no, I accidentally hit delete, Control Alt delete."
It took them 15 months to figure out how to put the cameras in the planes.
Wow,
well, that's fine. They had 36 years.
That's crazy.
And they also, if I understood it right, all of the actors who flew the planes did actively go and get their pilot's license.
Oh, really?
If I understood it right.
Yeah.
Bro, that's
they did that so they could,
That's
when
neat.
they were actually flying, it looked like they were flying.
Yeah, they knew what
plane.
they knew kind of like, hey, look like this. That's cool. Yeah. Man.
They probably did it because Tom Cruise forced them to.
Right. Yeah. Also because the star of the movie said, "Hey, you're going to do this."
He also, I think, somewhat produced it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he did.
I think his name's on that side.
Yeah, the second one exists because Tom Cruise wanted it to be.
Fun fact about him too: he has his helicopter pilot's license too.
Sure, he does.
Nice.
So I guess in some of the Mission Impossible movies, he is actually flying the helicopter.
And he learned how to ride a motorcycle for Top Gun as well.
That's crazy.
But he was saying in an interview that he used his Mission Impossible experience to make this movie.
I'm sure he did, dude.
And we're still getting Mission Impossible.
Like,
stuff.
He's probably after the first 8 Mission Impossible. He goes, "All right, I'm ready for Top Gun."
I've watched the
Brilliant.
first one. I've never seen him before. I watched the first one last night.
Mission Impossible?
Yeah.
Good for
I'm
you.
about halfway into the second one, but I got too late.
Good for you.
So we talked about this Memorial Day weekend, not only the biggest opening, or I guess the biggest Memorial Day weekend for a movie, but also largest opening of Tom Cruise's career.
Yes.
That is, this man's 60.
So I just pulled it up. This is 2 days ago. Top Gun Maverick makes $248 million at the global box office.
What?
So the numbers we were talking, the
Was that
163, that was domestic.
Oh wow. Well, so
And the budget for the movie was $160 million.
so why didn't
They made this movie with $160 million.
If I understood it right, yeah.
Dude, I was prepared for this to be like the most expensive movie of all
There
time.
was no CGI.
yeah
It was all practical
yeah, it was all
effect.
practical effects. Yeah.
Wow.
Question. I mean, I think I assume why, but why wasn't this shot, or why wasn't this released in China or Russia? Is this the state of political?
I haven't actually read anything on that. I just saw the headlines for that.
Yeah, I knew that it wasn't. I think Russia I can kind of understand, especially right now, things going on in Ukraine.
Dude, they just don't like Tom Cruise.
That's also probably more. That's probably more likely. Instead.
Vanilla Sky was not very good.
Yes.
But I mean, think about it. $250 million in the global box office in what, like 4 days? without Russia and China.
But China's the one that bothers me. Like, why China in particular? Because there's things in that movie. Studios have shown, Hollywood has shown that it will go above and beyond to edit some of these movies for the purpose of getting that Chinese market.
Yep.
And so I just want to know the backstory to that. I feel like there's a story there.
Yeah, because it doesn't even sound like it's anything Top Gun did.
Well,
I think it's how patriotic it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
It's
Okay,
extremely American military patriotism.
Well, they don't commit to an enemy, but it's basically like wink, wink, nudge, nudge. This is the enemy.
Yeah, it's like
And
Russia, China.
Yeah, some sort of communist leaning regime. And so that's part of it. But also I'm like, who in the studio, they were, or I guess marketing, publishing, or not publishing, marketing the release went, hey, we're not going to release this in the largest market in the world.
No, it wasn't their choice. They didn't choose to not release it.
Well, what I'm saying is there have been studios that have made it. They have done it.
Yeah, you mean like Disney that
Yes.
make different versions
They will
that go out in
do that.
different countries.
So I could totally see that discussion being, unless we change something to fit that. And I think that was a
they
discussion.
probably looked back at it and were like, all right, we got to overhaul the whole movie. We're not going to do that.
Nah, I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, not sure.
maybe. I just feel like there was a discussion there. I want to know. I want to
But
be a
one
fly on the
aspect
wall.
of the movie is it shows American supremacy in all acts of military.
Yeah,
even
but
though
there's
we
been
only touch on the
What I'm
Navy.
saying, there's been American movies that have released in China before, like a patriotic movie. Top Gun is in China. Like, I guarantee you that.
That
so,
was
like,
40 years ago.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's not. I don't think it's specifically just that. I don't know. I want to know. I want to know.
Think Red Dawn's in China?
I was just wondering that too. Probably the new one because it's what, North Korea. Yeah, they don't
that's
care about
true.
North Korea. But yeah. So
Are we ready?
I think so. I gotta find my. Hold on, let me pull my list.
You want to do it real quick?
No, you gotta do it. I would, but I've just had
I got you.
I'm still got this root beer.
Rank these films. Rank these films. Hello, friends, and welcome to Rank These Films with your buddies TD at the movies. We have seen our 5th theatrical release movie of the podcast cinematic year.
Three dudes at the movies movie.
3 dudes
list.
and at the movies.
5 of them we've seen.
5 of them
4 of
have
them.
been sought by us.
We've
Ryan, do you have any desire to do some rankings?
Wait.
I have my rankings.
Wait for the 3 dudes at the movies.
Yeah.
That's right. He does.
From the ones you've seen?
I've
well,
seen 4 of the 5.
Let's go chronologically, since we're still 5. So we saw the Batman.
Yep.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I didn't see that one.
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
In the Multiverse
Northman,
of Madness.
then Doctor Strange.
Oh, I thought Northman was after.
Northman was first.
Yeah,
Did
you
we
guys
watch-
saw it the right way. I saw it the other way.
Oh, I thought. Oh, okay. Northman and then
Doctor
Top
Strange and then Top Gun Maverick.
Top Gun Maverick.
Ryan, what's your list?
Number 4, The Northman.
Hmm.
Number 3 is Batman.
Mhm.
Number 2 is Doctor Strange. And number 1,
Top
Gun
Gun
Maverick.
Maverick.
What? You got Top Gun?
I think it's going to be the best movie of 2022. I shouldn't say I think. It's going to be the best movie of 2022. I don't think
Dude,
Thor:
Halloween
Love and
Ends
Thunder,
is still on the board.
Amen, brother.
but I don't think Thor is going to outdo this one.
Dude,
I'll be really
I bet it
impressed
will.
with Thor if it outdoes that one.
I think Thor: Love and Thunder is gonna. I think Thor: Love and Thunder has the potential to be better than Batman. The Batman.
Dude, maybe.
It looks pretty good, or at least I want it to be. I guess I should say.
What do you got? What do you got?
Number 5, Doctor Strange. 4, The Northman. Everything Everywhere All at Once at number 3. The Batman, number 2. Top Gun Maverick. Numero uno. We knew
Boom.
this.
That's
we know
fair.
this.
You know what my decision is, don't you?
No, I don't know what the rest of your list is. I have no clue.
Well, I mean, but the big decision I had to make.
Yeah, we'll read the other ones.
Okay. Number 5 is The Northman.
Yep.
Number 4 is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Okay.
Number 3 is Doctor Strange 2.
Yep.
Still rethinking that one.
No, you can't. You already wrote it down.
I said I'm rethinking. I'm not going to switch it.
Oh, okay.
Number 2.
I think about it at night. And then,
Number 2. Top Gun Maverick.
dude.
Number 1 is the Batman. Dude. Say what you will.
It's not.
The Batman is special. Is just special to me,
Why?
dude. I love it,
The Batman is just 7.
Well,
and I love 7. Like, dude, and it's a lot more fun than 7. Dude, the
Alright.
Batman's just special to me.
I mean, I would definitely watch the Batman again over watching 7 again, though.
But that's not the question. The
yeah, but
question
I would watch Top Gun Maverick 5 times over watching the Batman
Oh, yeah.
twice.
I wouldn't.
Oh man.
I'd go
Frick.
one for one on those. 1 for 1.
Yeah.
And I'm not. Obviously, this is nothing against Top Gun Maverick. I mean, this movie was phenomenal through and through. Go see, like, seriously, go watch this movie. Like,
Go
this
watch
is,
it again.
Like, this is
I wanna
this
watch
has
it
got to
again.
be easily our biggest
So
recommendation of the year.
good. Yeah.
Like, you have to
Oh,
go
yeah.
watch this movie.
Oh,
Go see it on a big screen, man. Like,
people
As
who,
soon as we left the theater, I texted like 4 or 5 people
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
home. I'm like,
everybody.
I
in
just
the,
saw this. Go see
Everybody in
this
the
movie.
office. I'm like, you seen it? You seen it? You haven't seen it? Go see it. Go see it
Yeah.
tonight. Call a babysitter. I don't care. Like, just go figure it out. Like, oh, dude, just so good. Goosebumps. I was talking to.
Rooster Bumps.
I was like, I get goosebumps just talking about it because it's just,
Dude, you're so right. I got a lot of goosebumps during this movie, and this was 6 hours after my sunburn. This movie physically hurt me.
Yeah.
There was one moment I was like, whoa, ow, ow! Just sitting in the theater.
Oh. Anywho, what a great movie.
Go watch this movie,
Go
guys.
watch it.
We got anything else we need
Jeez.
to...
Don't think, just do.
That's right.
Hmm.
End with your spirit.
All right, what's the plan for the next way?
Oh,
Wait, we gotta
I
talk
thought-
about the
I thought we were-
next episode.
I thought that
And
was
that's
us
it,
wrapping
guys,
up.
That we wrapped up this podcast.
I genuinely
Thanks
thought
for
that was
listening.
the wrap up.
We're finished with 3 dudes in a movie. This is the end of it. End of the road.
That's true.
I mean, honestly,
We don't know what's
peaked.
next.
It's Top Gun Maverick. We've peaked. We can't.
Hard fact.
What's our plan, by the way? Do we need to call someone, or are we taking another 3 dudes a detour at the movies?
I think we need to do a movie before that one.
All right. Do we have someone we can call?
Dude, I don't know. I didn't ask anyone.
We could just do random number generator.
Yeah, we'll do that.
We can,
It's-
yeah, we can at
it's
least get
late.
we can
It's a
get one of
little
those in
late.
there.
It's a little late.
All right,
We'll-
all right. Let's do this. I got it.
I gotta pull up the list.
Random number generator. Random number.
Well,
Minimum 1. Maximum uno hundreo.
can you take some out?
We can just rerun it if
Yeah,
we get one.
I can just rerun it.
Yeah, but I'm saying it. Can you like ahead? If we did it ahead of time, could you take some out?
How do you mean?
We
like-
might be able to find a number generator somewhere that would do that.
That sounds fine.
Are
We
you
should do
asking
that.
me? Is this the time where we want to set the parameters from 50 to 100?
No, I was just wondering. In the one that you're looking at right now, you said a minimum and a maximum.
Yeah.
Can you also set it to avoid certain numbers?
No.
Okay, we can find one that does, so that we can use it next time.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna avoid Das Boot.
No, just the ones that we've already seen.
That's fair. All right, are we ready?
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1. 30.
we already.
Parasite.
Dude,
All right, I'm in on this.
let's go.
This I've been meaning to watch
I
Parasite
love
for a long
Parasite.
time.
Ryan, you seen Parasite?
I have not.
All right, well,
Is
you're
movie
in for a good time.
2019's film of the year, wasn't it?
Yeah, won the
Widely
Oscar for best. Yeah.
Best Picture,
Mhm.
which is the big one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
It's good.
I can't
I
wait.
wonder also if it. Well, this is for the podcast. This is for the next podcast. Because I also think it might have won best original screenplay, but I don't remember. Yeah, dude, I'm excited. I love me some Parasite.
so good.
It's so good. It's a foreign movie, another foreign film.
Yep.
This one I highly recommend.
Cannot wait.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I've heard nothing but just phenomenal things.
Ryan, what do you think happens in Parasite? What do you think it's about?
It's one of two things.
Mountain Goat. What do you think Parasite's? Mountain Goat, give me the rundown. What's Parasite?
It's either a parasite infects people
Okay.
or an alien parasite affects people.
Okay. That's that. Well, thanks for listening, guys. You've just been Top Gun.
You've been hit by.
the
You've been
dan-
struck by
the danger
a
zone.
smooth danger zone.
Danger zone. Flying. Well,
Wait,
if
wait.
you guys would, we'll make this a poll. I think not a poll. We'll make this a question. Shoot us your call signs. What do you think your call sign would be? I'm curious. Let me know. And then maybe if I see it, I'll start calling you that.
Maybe. It's a strong maybe.
It's a strong maybe.
How strong of a maybe is it?
Marty, are you looking up something for the podcast? Or can you
No,
wrap up?
I'm not. I'm not trying to kill 2 more seconds, so I can.
Yeah, no worries.
I hope you enjoyed listening to Three Dudes in a Movie podcast, part of the TDM Media Network. If you like what you heard, go ahead and subscribe to the podcast, share it with your friends, and leave a review on your nearest podcasting platform. You can connect with us by following us on Instagram at 3dudesmoviecast, or email us reviews, ideas, questions, etc. directly at tdmoviecast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.